Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back ladies and gentlemen for another YouTube video. Guys, this is an exciting video because I am exceptionally excited about what I am seeing right now in regards to Cardano, where it's at, the kind of movements that it is making, and I'm going to be telling you why I believe history is repeating itself and we are about to see the fifth wave that we spoke about in yesterday's video come to fruition. You guys know I follow Elliott wave theory. Essentially in yesterday's video we spent quite a bit of time mapping out not only the larger Elliott wave theory that's going on in this bull market, the way that we believe the market is moving in a 5-wave structure. We know Elliott wave theory is definitely present. If you look at the kind of white lines here, we mapped out the smaller Elliott wave theory within the Elliott wave theory. But guys, what I want to focus on in this video, and this is a weekly time frame, and I want to show you something very interesting. I'm going to take the Elliott waves off in a second, but just to kind of show you the reason why I think history is repeating itself is if you look at this kind of wave-like structure that we mentioned, once you completed the one wave, the two wave is playing out in a very similar way to what the fourth wave that I believe we're currently in is playing out, and essentially how it plays out. And you guys will remember when we were up here, we were saying to you, look guys, you're heavily overextended and you are going to come down in a similar manner to how you already have after completing your one wave, back down to this 20 EMA on the weekly time frame. So this is what we believe the one wave was here. You then entered your two wave, which is your pullback wave in your Elliott wave theory, which essentially saw you come back and caress, yes, I said caress, this 20 EMA before then embarking on your third wave, which essentially saw Cardano very quickly, for those of you who weren't here to witness it, go up by like 2,712%, something crazy like that. I can't remember the exact percentages. It depends where you kind of take the mark from. And I believe you are about to enter your fifth wave, which doesn't have to be as big. We've already said on a number of occasions, and we focused on it more specifically in yesterday's video, that, you know, we think you're going to get to that $7.50 plus range. $7.50 is a pessimistic price prediction, believe it or not, and ultimately we think that is around the corner. If you look at how things are setting up, we're going to dive into some smaller time frames. I'm also going to be quickly going over exactly why Bitcoin is now, in my opinion, going to start a reversal and start recovering, because the structure that's setting up for Bitcoin is somewhat similar to Cardano, where you're putting in these marginal lower lows. This is a typical bottoming sign because it shows that you are losing momentum to the downside. You're weakening whatever. You are in a downtrend. Let me just say that right now off the bat for both Cardano and Bitcoin. However, you're in a downtrend until you're not. And those of you out there that have been watching these markets for long enough will understand that. There will come a point where you will break out with momentum. We're not really seeing the volume just yet. Typically still low volume at the moment in regards to where we are in the market. But it will come and you will break out from this and you will continue to climb. Like, we're going to show you some examples of this structure playing out in Bitcoin prior and it being the bottom of a corrective wave. So this, without the Elliott wave theory, guys, you can really see what I'm saying. This we believe is your one wave. This is your two wave, which sees you come back and hit this EMA. Remember, we were calling here for you to come back to this EMA because you were so overextended from it. We said that you weren't just going to drop down. Those of you who have been following the channel can testify to this. We said you were going to come up and we were going to ride the waves up with this EMA, and that's ultimately what we think is at play. And I want as many of you, there is the possibility for Cardano to come lower. You can see already though, one thing that's really telling is if you look at these wicks, what they're showing you is that the price got to these lower levels and got bought up, and you can see the kind of size of these wicks. You're really seeing almost like a kind of force keeping you, above that EMA at the moment. And ultimately we think that you are going to come to it, do a similar thing to what you did in your two wave before you then bottom out and into your three wave. We think that's absolutely on the cards, guys. I think that's important to remember. Towards the end of the video, guys, we're going to be covering some big news. Cardano hits new milestone, surpassing 650k staking addresses. This coin is going from strength to strength. It's why we cover it on pretty much every single day, for the simple fact that I always have good news to tell you in regards to this project, whether that's on a price from a pricing perspective, or whether that's fundamentally, fundamentals, they're getting stronger and stronger. You also had Max Kaiser. Max Kaiser is calling ADA a scam and effectively calling you Bernie Madoff. This is in response to Charles Hoskinson. I think you should respond and reassure your supporters. Max Kaiser, very early Bitcoin adopter. However, he's got this one wrong. Bitcoin maxis, I can perhaps understand it on one side of things, but it annoys me in another, because if you can't see that something like Cardano has positioned itself as a third generation blockchain, Cardano can do significantly more than Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin has certain properties that perhaps coins like Cardano and Ethereum don't have, but in terms of usability, Cardano is significantly more usable than Bitcoin. It might not have some of the other fundamentals. We're going to annoy some people with that comment, but that's just my belief. And ultimately, I think it's the right one. I think you can't look at this from a maximalist's point of view. We all owe Bitcoin a lot in the space. Way off topic, guys. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that we are reversing, in my opinion. Like I say, we'll quickly show you this on Bitcoin. You can see you've popped above your EMA on the 4 hourly. We need to see that happen on bigger time frames for us to get really excited. You can see you're absolutely still downtrending, guys, but you are forming, in my opinion, a bottoming structure. You know, we've said for a while now, and it's been pretty hairy, the call, and we've got pretty close to it, that this was the bottom for Bitcoin right here, guys. This is going to be the bottom, I believe, and we are going to continue on in this bull run. Lots of people essentially calling for a bear market because of the severity of the sell-off. Understand that there is a lot of leverage in this system. It is going to be volatile when a lot of people, 776,000 people got liquidated, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of people, you know, and that's really going to have a negative effect. It's the first time we had that much leverage in the system. That's why this sell-off was as severe, and in many ways, you know, was unorthodox in comparison with your 2000 and sort of 17 model of a bull run, if you will. So what we're talking about on the 4 hourlies, can you see these lower highs, guys? You're also having a lot of wicks being bought up in this range. This is typical of a bottoming structure. You know, you can even see some of the most recent, your marginally lower highs. That's not really a great example. Something like this is a better example. Can you see this structure here, guys, when you're making marginally lower highs and then you just break above it and you stay above it? Plenty of examples. Let's look at perhaps more of a This is a good sell-off, because this one actually kind of replicates. You could perhaps say there was a little bit of Wyckoff distribution here. This one, you know, looks kind of similar, and you can see what happens, guys. You sell off, you come down, and you make marginally lower lows, guys. You almost come into like a buying floor. I hope what I'm showing you is making sense to some of you out there. Remember, I could absolutely be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. This is the same sort of thing. You have this big wick. In fact, this one was pretty much textbook of what we've seen, and we have likened. This is March 2020, the kind of you know, scary crash when everyone thought the world was coming to a standstill. This we've likened to the one we've seen today, where essentially you get this big wick down and then you make marginally lower lows before then recovering. So very, very excited, guys. You know, ultimately I don't want any of you to miss this. Let's take a quick look at Cardano, and bearing in mind you could still come lower for Cardano, but I think the overall market is going to shift direction. I think we're out of that kind of sticky time zone. You are definitely still in a downtrend for Cardano. I mean, there's no absolutely no getting away from that, guys. You need to really break above this, not just on the 4 hourly, but on other time frames for me to get excited. But what I am saying to you is that a breakout is coming. It's inevitable. You know, news like this, Cardano hits a new milestone, and I'll read a little bit of this article because this is really interesting. This shows you the confidence. We're also seeing a real uptick in institutional buyers. Rest assured, guys, that, you know, I think if you're an investor in Cardano, you know, your money is safe, and that is not me giving you any kind of financial advice at all. It's what I'm choosing to do and why I am trying to accumulate as much as I can during these kind of during this kind of time, because ultimately I think this is a bit of a reaccumulation phase for the overall market, and even on Cardano. I mean, look at the wicks, guys. This is what gave me a lot of confidence when we initially sold off, because it just got eaten up with buyers. I was included in that. I'm sure many of you that follow the channel were. I'll read a bit of this article because it's very interesting, and then we'll wrap the video up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that one. I've still got lots of work to do. So Cardano, ADA has reached a new milestone, blah, blah, blah. It has been an eventful 3 weeks for the 5th most valuable cryptocurrency by market cap. In that time, it has added more than 50,000 new staking addresses, an increase of more than 8% since its beginning of June. When ADA reports its last milestone, surpassing 600,000 staking, 600,000 people staking Cardano, guys. According to the data, the recent influx brings the total amount of ADA staking addresses to over 662,000 addresses, as well as a further 2,656 active mining pools. That's huge, guys. At this time, data also records that the staked fund totaled 29 billion, 71% of the total supply. That's how much confidence people have got in this network. They're willing to stake it. And ultimately, that just goes to show, and we've spoke to you on a number of occasions about the fact that the price, and this sounds crazy to some people that don't understand that price is just one price in a fiat term. So pricing something up against a fiat is only one way that you weigh up value. It's why people commonly look at the Bitcoin. You know, they'll compare their cryptocurrency to Bitcoin, and that will give them an idea of whether it's a good investment. Because if it's not outperforming Bitcoin, you're better off holding something like Bitcoin, which is a lot more of a stable crypto in a very volatile market, if that makes sense. So we do think the recovery is coming, guys. I want you to get excited. I want everyone to be excited about this. How can you not? The news that we've brought you on a daily basis, ignore people like Max Kaiser. Remember, yesterday we covered the fact that Binance has essentially, apparently, according to some people, been banned in the UK by the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authorities, which is like the regulatory body for that sort of stuff in the UK. That was not the case at all. You know, please distinguish what you hear in sort of the mainstream media and what the fact is, because at the end of the day, like all YouTubers out here, they're just trying to promote their content. So that is all I really have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very excited with what I think's to come. You know, I ultimately, it just looks like history's repeating itself, guys, and we're bullish. We think there's absolute ample reasons to be bullish. Remember, these are only a couple. The fact that the charts to me look like they're repeating themselves in more ways than one. And the fact that the fundamentals, and this is just another fantastic article that sums it up, have never ever been so strong. All I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will see you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.